when we see complaints that a particular dress code is discriminatory on the basis of race or on the basis of sex, we have jurisdiction to investigate that question, and we do.
That's Catherine Lehman, Assistant Director for Civil Rights at the U.S. Department of Education, the agency charged with investigating Title IX complaints. Amy Cherry has more on our lead story.
They've been investigating the St. Johns County School District since 2021, when they received complaints that the district's dress code was discriminatory towards women and girls. This is exactly the sort of thing Lehman says her office has jurisdiction over.
Sometimes we have determined that a dress code operates sex stereotypes or operates race stereotypes or operates different treatment or different burdens for students based on race or based on sex, or that a school unequally enforces its dress code against students of color or students who are girls or students who are boys.
The district came under criticism in 2021 for heavily editing yearbook photos of women and girls that weren't in compliance with the dress code at Bartram Trail High School. More recently, the department distributed an online survey to students at Switzerland Point Middle School and Bartram Trail, Nice, Creekside, and St. Augustine High Schools. The survey asked students how many times they'd been disciplined for violating the district's dress code policy. A district spokeswoman says the survey was compromised after the link was shared outside the school community. A district spokeswoman says they've made several changes to the dress code since the complaints were lodged, including creating what they've called a more gender-neutral dress code. Lehman says the investigation is ongoing.
We work to try to resolve any potential concerns or violations with the school community, and if ultimately the school community refuses to come into compliance with the law, then we would withhold federal funds.
With St. Augustine's local morning news, I'm Amy Cherry.
This local news is a service of your hometown Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota US 1 St. Augustine, here to wow you. Florida lawmakers pass a nearly $120 billion budget as the 2023 legislative session comes to a close.
Speaker of the House and 19th District Representative Paul Renner says overall the session was very productive.
Really just focused on, what can we do to make people's lives better. So we had a bunch of things for hurricane restoration, for affordability, affordable housing bill that the Senate President championed. I had a lot of education bills, universal choice, things to help improve reading and math scores for our kids that are behind. Social media and some of that negative social media influence in the classroom, and devoted another $250 million to teacher salary increases.
The Republican lawmaker says the bills passed were mostly bipartisan.
80% of our bills have a majority of the Democrats voting with us on things. 90% have at least one Democrat. It's the 10% that the media talks incessantly about.
Renner says that the new budget puts more money in state reserves than they've had before, while also cutting taxes. For St. Augustine's Local Morning News, I'm Rich Petchke.
State-of-the-art software is being used by local law enforcement. Liz Ryan reports.
David Shore is a legendary name here in St. Johns County. He served as chief of police in St. Augustine and 16 years as sheriff in St. Johns County. He retired 2 years ago, but that certainly hasn't slowed him down. He works with Lefta Systems, which builds software for hundreds of law enforcement agencies all over the country. I asked Mr. Shore what Lefta stands for.
Law Enforcement Training Academy, which is the original name that a sergeant from the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office gave his product when he first developed software for the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. And he is now retired from the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office, and he has created a software suite of applications in law enforcement that are true data analytics.
He told me what makes this software so useful to law enforcement.
Interoperable, customizable, price points unbelievable. Quite frankly, I've never seen anything like it in my profession.
They got an exclusive invitation and took the software all the way to the top.
Our owner, CEO, retired sergeant from the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office, was recently invited to the White House because they had a day there where they were talking about analytics in different areas, and especially in law enforcement. And he was one of the only ones in law enforcement that was invited to that. So that was a big deal because most organizations have the information to make informed decisions. They just can't put it together. So that's what we're trying to do. It's a company that is trying to make organizations find their level of excellence that they're seeking.
You can find out more at leftasystems.org. For St. Augustine's Local Morning News, I'm Liz Ryan.
And now you're up to date with St. Augustine's Local Morning News. I'm Rich Carroll.